Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our next Kerbal Space Program video. And in this video, we're going to be sending a rover all the way to the distant moon of Paul. And in case you don't know what Paul is, it is the farthest moon away from the Joule system. So, we're designing the rover right here, and as you can see, it has those long arms. That way we can land on the moon properly. Because it has no atmosphere, we will not be able to use parachute, so we will have to land propulsively. So I did try doing a voiceover before, about 5 minutes ago, when I just noticed that I didn't push the record button. So I just did 15 minutes of voiceover without actually pushing the record button. So this time I've double checked that the recording light is on and we are good to go. So anyways, we're adding those 4 nuclear motors, which will help us get to Paul easily and efficiently. And we're just adding some RCS thrusters right there, just so we can have more control, along with RTGs, because solar panels are less efficient farther away from the sun. So anyways, make sure you guys check out our new video that just came out maybe a week or so, and that video was on our model rocket motor test stand. We finally got to fit a 29mm motor on there, so we got some awesome sparks and sparkly inferno, so make sure to go check that out. It was like our final success, or our first successful version of the test stand, so make sure you go check that video out. But anyways, let's get back to the video. We're using the most powerful engine in the game, unless you have the DLC, the Mammoth engine, because this rocket is heavy, because we need lots of Delta V to get to the moon. Anyways, as you can see, this rocket is very big, so we're making sure to put separatons, that way we can have a clean separation without blowing up or damaging the core stage. And now we're just double checking our staging to make sure that the the second stage of the rocket doesn't go off at the same time as the first stage, and then while that happens, boosters fall off. So anyways, we're just making the rocket a bit shorter because it's too heavy for the Mammoth motors. But anyways, we're just setting up our encounter here. The angle should be Joule to the sun to Kerbin should be 96 degrees, in case you don't know that. A very handy tool is ksp.olex.biz. Link in the description that can really help you out with your encounters. So anyways, here we are at the launch, and we are immediately starting our gravity turn. That way we can have an efficient orbit. But it doesn't have to be perfect, because we have lots of extra Delta V on this rocket. So this week we will probably not be releasing another ISS video, because the truss section was very frustrating. I spent 4 hours just to attach solar panels to that our International Space Station and stock Kerbal Space Program, and I just wanted to take a little break from that and show you guys something different. So this will be our video for this week, and I'm trying to start having more of a consistency. Instead of having videos, maybe 2 videos in 2 days and then waiting a week, I think I'm just gonna try to have a video every week. So we'll probably just have a video every Sunday. So I'm doing the voiceover today at October 3rd, or on Friday. This video will be out on Sunday. And today we also had our live stream, and it was a complete frustration and failure, because the camera kept shutting off, and then the audio levels were all weird. So yeah, we fixed all those problems. We're going to fix those this week, and we're planning on having a Kerbal Space Program live stream next week or this week. So more on that later. As you can see, the fairing has separated, and now we have uncovered the Rhino stage along with the rover itself. And now we will just start time warping to our apoapsis. That way we can point towards a prograde vector and start our burn to raise our periapsis and circularize our orbit. And now we can slowly but steadily point towards the prograde vector. And now we can start up the engine. Yep, perfect. As you can see here, the fuel lines are all screwed up, and that's because the launch just made them all weird. So we will not be able to use those engines that we attached there for landing, but that's fine. We have a different solution. So anyways, we're starting our burn now so we can get our encounter with Joule. And then now that the Rhino stage is depleted, we can activate our 4 nuclear engines. Perfect. Now we have an encounter with Joule. Well, almost. We have to do a bit more correction burns, but we'll get there. Now we can start our correction burn. There we go. And now we can time warp towards our intersection with Joule. So anyways, on the topic of the live stream, we're planning to have one this week or next week, and that's where we're just going to do a live stream of Kerbal Space Program, do what you guys want, so make sure you show up for that. You don't want to be alone. It's more fun with more people, you know? So I'll be scheduling that maybe a day earlier than what it happens. So make sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. So now we have an encounter with Joule, and we can fire up our nuclear engines so we can get into an orbit around Joule. And from that orbit, we will then get an encounter with Paul, and then from that encounter with Paul, we will get into orbit around Paul, and then from orbit around Paul, we will land on Paul. And now, we can just burn retrograde for a sec there, and we have an orbit. And the reason being is because Paul is so small, it has less gravity, which means that it's really easy to land on, but it's kind of harder to get an encounter. So the landing stage can be really small, but the stage that gets your encounter, in this instance it's the nuclear engines, needs to be have a lot of delta V. So anyways, there we are, and we're just planning out where we're going to land. So the landing stage motors don't work, so instead we're just going to use the Terrier engine and then just flip ourselves and land, because the gravity is so low, it's easy to do that. It's no problemo. So pretty much those extra engines are useless. And now we're just slowly descending towards the alien surface of Paul. And as you can see, there's lots of terrain features along with lots of colors. So it will be very fun to explore this. Alright, as you can see, if we retract that Communotron 8888, we have less signal because that relay antenna is very small and underpowered. So we will have to keep that Communotron until we reposition our relays that are around Paul. And quickly saving right there, that way we can go back in case we crash. But the thing is, the planet's gravity is so pathetic that it's really hard to make a mistake. Even if you do, you'll probably just land super soft, and it's no problem at all. That's what I like about Paul. It's easy to land on. And we're just slowly descending. So, because that the Communotron is on the Terrier stage, not the Rover, after we decouple that, we won't have a signal. So my plan is we have some relays that are close to Paul. We will just position those in orbit around Paul, that way we can have a relay all the way to Kerbin. So we will reposition those after we land. So we're getting close there, around 15 meters left, and slowly going towards the surface with small bursts of throttle. And there we go. Very easy. And we can just flip ourselves like that And now you can see the extent of how pathetic that gravity is. It's nothing compared to everything else, of course. And now we can just decouple those useless engines that we never use because the fuel lines were all screwed up. And then now we can switch over to our relays. So first we're just going to double check that everything works and then switch over to the relay now. And now that the relay is open, we can open the map and reposition it into a lower orbit around Paul. That way we can have a continuous signal from the rover back to the Kerbin Space Center. So if you are interested in showing up for that live stream and you think that you could come, please leave it down in the comments. I really need to know if you'd like to come or not. That way I don't set up a whole live stream and have like one person there. We did have a live stream today and we had around like 6 viewers, so I think several of you might be able to come. So yeah, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now while this loads. So anyways, now we're just going to reposition the second relay just to ensure that we have a continuous signal to the Kerbin Space Center. And there is literally no point to those magnetometer booms, it just makes the whole thing look cooler. So alright, now we got our periapsis to where we want it. And after several unsuccessful time warp attempts, we finally have a circular orbit. And now we can switch over back to that rover. And now after decoupling it and working out all the traction control details, I've just skipped to the footage of me going along because it took like 30 minutes for me to figure out the traction control and the right settings for the wheels. So anyways, there we are. We're just going across the surface and slowly accelerating. So I landed on a mountain range, so there's not that many colorful terrain features, so we're going to slowly drive towards them. And of course this rover is very low tech, doesn't have that much on it, but it looks pretty cool. And as you can see, since the gravity is so low, we keep jumping up and down. Because of the low gravity, we're able to kind of float along. As you can see, after this mountain range, there is lots more features to go explore with our rover. And those relays are doing a perfect job of making sure that we have a signal from Paul back to the station. So if you guys have any video ideas or something you want us to try that you've never tried yourself, or like something that you don't know how to do that maybe I do, which is probably unlikely, leave it down in the comments and then I will try that out for myself. I'd love to do that. So of course, Paul doesn't represent any moon or anything in this in our solar system, so it's different. So anyways, thanks to the low gravity, now we are flying at an incredibly high altitude and we are barely descending. And it looks like the rover is about to crash. But we can turn on those advanced stabilizers and we have a touchdown without damaging any parts. But then we're flying again, and this is very frustrating because the gravity's so low. So Paul, I wouldn't recommend it if you want to go with a rover, because it just, yeah, it's not very fun, because you just keep flying and then you have to recontrol everything, and yeah. So just keep taking a couple screenshots there of our flying rover, and then we land once again. We're almost to that colorful terrain. So I have to keep toggling that reaction wheel on and off, that way we can have a that way I can go back to the right orientation and land properly on our 4 wheels. And once again we land. Bit hard this time, but not a big deal because of the low gravity. And now we can see that colorful terrain, and hopefully after we go over this ridge, we are able to take a look at all the wonderful features on this awesome planet. Not a planet, on this awesome moon. So we go flying once more, and land again. And of course I have to have that torque thing up, that way I can turn it on if we go flying once more. But unfortunately, at the worst time possible, the connection goes out. And we are left with no control over our rocket because the relays are not doing their job. And thanks to bad placement and bad math, we are now flying with no connection and no control over the rover at all, and the wheels are just spinning like crazy. And it looks like we are about to crash, but hopefully there's low enough gravity that nothing gets damaged and we can reacquire a signal again. Oh, but we just lost our relay antenna. Uh-oh. That means we won't have any more signal, and we're accelerating down the slope. Oh no, oh no, oh no. This is not good, this is not good. And we are in the wrong orientation. Oh no. Okay, we seem fine, we seem fine. Oh, we're good, we're good. Oh no, oh no. Oh no. Alright, and on that terrible disappointment, it is time to end. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and check out these videos to watch next. So thank you all for all you do, and we'll see you next time.